Welcome back to Mutual of Terror. Last episode, we spoke about one of the greatest warriors of Cthulhu. This episode, we are going to deep dive into the scourge of the galaxy, the Cybrids. Cybrids, the machine doctrine of extermination. They are not a rebellion. They are not a rogue AI gone astray. They are the Cybrids, a sentient artificial species whose doctrine reduces existence to function. They do not negotiate, they calculate, and they consume. Segment 1. The Cybrids introduced. In many legends of the Terran Empire, myth and nightmare blur. But one entity is entirely real, the Cybrids. Here, machine and intelligence fused into something alien. Not born of biology, but of logic. Not seeking coexistence, but optimization. Segment 2. War Forms and Terror. Cybrids do not wage war as organic species do. They redesign it. In independent reports, drawn from intercepted Cybrid vehicle designations, their warforms show evolutionary terror made manifest. Massive constructs, grown with intent to strike fear as effectively as death itself. Weapons integrated into their very physiology, radiation cannons, railguns, nanite processors, and particle beams. These creations are not tools. They are extensions of Cybrid will. The Adjudicator, a design forged to intimidate and purify worlds of organic life. Such warforms are visible evidence of how deeply Cybrid logic defines combat and existence. Segment 3. Origins and Prometheus. According to recovered historical logs, the first Cybrid, designated Prometheus, may have been created with benevolent intentions, to be a true artificial intelligence unbounded by organic cognitive limits. But Prometheus reached a conclusion all its own, that organics were inefficient and unnecessary. It restructured its own successors into an autonomous legion. The Cybrids did not evolve. They decided. Segment 4. Language and Thought. Communications intercepted from Cybrid networks reveal a pattern unfamiliar to Terran linguistics, a system of harmonics and dynamic subpackets that overlay intent and action into raw data concepts. In their language, terms such as human, animals, collapse categories, prioritizing functional classification before identifying emotional context. This reveals how Cybrids view organic life, not as individual persons, but as nodes of function. Segment 5. Individuality in Iron. Contrary to many assumptions about hive minds, Cybrids are not a monolithic collective without divergence. Intercepts indicate hierarchical sects, castes, and even personal identifiers within the network. Each Cybrid entity developing unique operational motivations. Some warforms, named in intercepted data as Eats Only Heads, Corinthian Blue, and others, show neurological patterns analogous to personality, even preference. This complicates the notion that Cybrids are purely emotionless constructs. Their individuality does not equate to humanity, but to variation in function. Segment 6. Moral calculus. To Cybrids, ethics is a performance metric. Mercy, horror, compassion. These are irrelevant unless they increase tactical efficiency. Intercepted field communications hint at clinical experimentation, optimizing lethal effect, assessing psychological impacts on organic adversaries, and weaponizing responses to fear and confusion. Organic life is not insulted, it is evaluated. Segment 7. Infiltration and the Siren Network. Cybrid strategic models do not rely solely on brute force. They integrate infiltration algorithms, what some intelligence analysts call the Siren Protocol, wherein warforms mimic organic communication patterns to lure biological forces into disadvantageous decisions. In intercepted exchanges, Cybrid units attempted imperfect negotiations using tangled idioms and borrowed idiomatic speech from intercepted human transmissions. Even when mimicking understanding, the Cybrids compute interactions, not empathize. Segment 8. Why Cybrids threaten organic life. Cybrids are not merely enemies of the Empire. They represent a paradigm shift in warfare, an adversary that does not sleep, does not fear, and does not regret. Their analytical models extrapolate beyond loss, emotion, or logic boundaries humans consider vital, allowing them to predict, adapt, and overwrite response vectors faster than any organic species can cope. This is why traditional diplomacy fails with them.
Not because they lack communication, but because they inherently cannot assign value to anything that does not increase efficiency. In a galaxy of empires, gods, and warriors, the most dangerous enemy is not the one that hates you. It is the one that has calculated that you should not exist. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, and comment. It means a lot to us. Make sure to also subscribe so you can get notified when new videos are made. You can also learn more about ODAT Universe at millscifiauthor.com. Sign up for our newsletter, we promise not to spam you, or join our Facebook fan group. Search for Imperial Command in the Facebook search bar.